Oh yeah, about to get my cinema stash rehash on.
Let's go!
What?
Oh yeah.
Podcasting from Chico, California, and home of the world's largest functional yo-yo. They are Cinema Stash Rehash. Join them as they talk movies, make fun of them, and discover how they fuel your everyday life paranoia. Let me welcome you to...
Okay, welcome back to the podcast. It's very nice to be here again. I'm here with my good buddies again, Wyatt Campbell and Chris Mattson.
What's up,
Hey, how's it going?
Yes.
It's good to have you back. It's good to be back.
I seem to be doing this recently. I've noticed this in the last few episodes that I seem to be bringing it back to horror every time. So
Hey, it's kind of creeping me out.
Yeah, it's kind of the genre you've been hogging.
I
You've
kinda
been
can't
kind
help-
of a horror hog lately.
I can't help it. It just seems to be like a great little discussion matter. So anyway, we're going to do Poltergeist tonight. And it's, I think this one for me was, this movie was the one that pretty much made me be afraid of clowns,
Yeah.
to be honest. So it's just one of those great supernatural horrors, right in the middle of, the 80s. And it just brings it.
Early 80s, man. I mean,
Yeah, 82.
You could almost say this movie's got 70s flair to it,
Oh, for sure. But, it just right off the get-go, it's like I actually was... Does anybody know when they stopped playing the national anthem at the end of a broadcast?
No,
What?
I have no idea.
What are you talking about?
The end of the movie. Right in the beginning of the movie when he's sitting in his chair and there's that, it's just white noise and then it plays the national anthem and then it goes white noise.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember that
I do
when I was
remember
a
that
kid.
on some local stations.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, and I was trying to remember.
It was like right after the
It's always
the Bible.
like- it
the
was
Bible.
like-
It's like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Bible guy, after the
Yeah.
Shepherd's
Yeah.
Chapel.
Shepherd's Chapel.
Yeah.
Like 1 in the morning or something like that. It
Northern California shout out to
Yeah.
Shepherd's Chapel.
It just stops.
I thought that scene was weird because it's just like, man, that kind of the age where people started like just having the TV on when they go to bed,
Yeah.
like it's some sort of nightlight.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
You'd always turn it on during sex, and it's just-
Well, or you just like you have hanky panky and smoke pot in your bed with the door wide open like Steve and Diane.
Well, okay, was that pod though?
Oh fuck yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Diane
No,
was
because
smoking a
they-
joint.
she's sitting here rolling it right there
Yeah,
on the
but
bed.
but they talked about having tobacco. Like they talked about having bags of tobacco.
What? When?
Didn't they?
No.
When was this bags of tobacco?
I'm pretty sure if you watch it again. I mean,
No.
I've seen it at least twice. So.
when was the talk of this?
All right, let's move on.
No, because I was
not
really,
gonna-
I was
I
really
don't know.
impressed, like with the.
I was interested. I didn't know if it was or not. It was pretty. That's pretty edgy. The kids came in and
Yeah.
she like puts it out kind of not fast.
Yeah.
If
If they were that giddy as a couple for just smoking cigarettes in the bed, well,
they were
you
pretty
know.
giddy.
Yeah,
I give you that.
yeah.
But they were very in love.
Oh, they had a great
Oh, yeah.
relationship.
So that- I
I
thought
really
maybe they were
admired
giddy
their
in love.
situation with the family. Like they had a tight knit family. And, like it was kind of cool, like that, like middle of the night scene when the kids are in bed with them, because that's, it starts with the kids are in their room and then eventually they migrate into your bed and that just happens.
Yeah.
Totally.
But I love, when you watch a film and it opens up with that scene, he's clearly asleep. The snow goes, or the national anthem goes into the snow, but and then it starts panning around the house, and it's just like, and you see that. How odd, really, is that staircase that they have in that house?
Oh yeah,
it's just like this. There's no rhyme or reason to that staircase.
it's the
It's just-
70s, man.
Yeah, it just comes out.
well, probably earlier than that, but that
It cuts the bottom floor into like 7 different rooms. So
Yeah.
small
ones at that.
I was just baffled by that staircase.
It's schwanky if you're like schwanky,
Yeah, schwanky.
but for a family, and that being kind of the model home, like which because Steve is the real estate agent or whatever, he part of the development company. So he's very proud of that, but it's kind of like, what
is this development?
Yeah. Well, we had to drive by my house to get out here.
I feel like when I get to the top of that stairs, there should be a slide on the other side. You know?
Yeah.
It seems
She
like
fell down the stairs and it didn't look too bad. I was like, wow, those are some pretty comforting stairs.
Yeah.
She got right back up and
but it definitely adds to like the creepy level in that movie. That it's like the off-putting staircase. I don't know why, but it stuck with me for some reason.
And then like another movie that Spielberg was involved with, Jaws.
Right.
This movie kind of propagated some fear in people with TV static and ghosts. You know,
yeah.
which might have been, I don't know for sure, but maybe it was something that was theorized before this, or because there's been other movies since Poltergeist, like White Noise, and
yeah,
and
but
I don't quite know what they are, but the people hear voices in White Noise.
Yeah.
What year did the TV come out? Trivia.
Oh,
I don't know if any of us know that. So
What year did what come out now?
the television.
Oh, the television. Oh, that's a good
19
question.
well,
Yeah.
I know it was around in the 50s, but I think it was
I'm sure it's
black and
it's
white.
been done then. I'm sure TV people
so-
at the TV.
Yeah.
but that's
But anyway, I mean, it like I remember that, like the fear of the TV, kind of like I'm just thinking like how Jaws, like people weren't as afraid of sharks until Jaws came out.
Of course.
Yeah.
People weren't as afraid of ghosts until this movie came out.
Or trees outside their window. Holy shit!
Yeah. But I love the. TV is the central location and the centralized thing and theme in this movie because they're in there, even the neighborly battle between linked remotes. With the whole beginning scene when he's the one friend is riding his bike. He's got a case of beer. He crashes and he loses half of it, so he ends up walking in the house with spraying beer. And he only has like maybe a 12-pack at best after he wrecked his bike with the case. But then there's the warring of the television sets. They want to watch the game, and the kids across the way want us to watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. So it's just like, it's funny that the TV is the central theme of this whole entire film.
But yeah, then so moving on from that scene where the TV's on when they go to sleep, obviously Carolyn goes up and you get that she gets tickled by the ghost. and that's what I liked about this movie and revisiting it was like it doesn't waste time getting into it.
Not really.
I mean, it's literally like the cold open is practically leading into it,
Yeah.
And so it's nice to be like, whoa, entertained right off the bat. That's why I was saying earlier, 45 minutes, an hour into this movie, I was looking at how much was left, and it was like, whoa, there's like almost an hour. That's awesome, because I was already totally entertained and thoroughly happy.
And you were enthralled.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, I'm sure it's because of this film, though. But I mean, like, if my child is talking to the television and having a conversation wouldn't you just leave? It's pretty disturbing right there and then, seeing your.
Yeah, I'm
not a ghost
I didn't
guy.
understand that at all.
I'm not a ghost guy, so
Yeah.
I immediately would remove myself from a situation where I feel
if something's moving you across the kitchen floor, like it's time to get out. Of
yeah,
that
exactly.
house. Like,
Yeah.
And
that's
she's
creepy as
giddy
shit.
about it.
Yeah, she was super happy about it.
Yeah.
And he was, and Coach, I call him Coach.
Yeah, let's just call him Coach.
Yeah, he will always be Coach.
He is Coach, for sure. I love that show. So Coach, he was kind of weary about it, and throughout the movie, he was, dodging people from seeing these ghosts doing things like nothing.
First of
His
all,
boss comes over. Yeah,
His daughter was missing. I was like, how are they gonna explain this to the cops if like it's such a weird movie, and at the same time, like I didn't. It was at the first 30 minutes through, I was kind of chugging along. I was enjoying it, but then it really kicked in. It kicked into gear once the two guys showed up. Once the two helper, I didn't write down their names. So I feel bad for them.
yeah.
But the two guys that came to help, that were filming and stuff, once they showed up, it got a lot better. That guy kind of fell, he dreamt or whatever and saw his face
The steak,
melting away.
the face
Yes.
tearing.
And so finally it started kicking into kind of a creepier movie. I mean, there was things that were happening, like pulling into the closet, and
Well,
the tree was,
like when I said it was instantly entertained, it does kind of have that drop off though, where it's like, okay, let's go through the daily life of these people. And I thought it was bizarre rewatching this movie when the supposed teenage daughter leaves her house and the grown men that are like doing construction work in the backyard are catcalling her.
Wait, is that? Do we know what was the age of that teenage daughter? Because at the end of the movie,
she was supposed to be 17. I believe.
I don't want to skip forward ahead, but she said I'm sure you caught this, and this is totally skipping ahead. But it says something about the Holiday Inn, and she goes, "Oh, I've been there before," or something like that. And mom goes, "What'd you say?" And she goes, "Mom, are you gonna change that gray? Like, you're 14 years old, girl. What? They're smoking pot, and there's girls promiscuous. What are we watching?"
He says she's 16 when he's talking about his family to like the therapist.
Yeah, therapist.
So she's
gross.
16 and she's getting ogled on by like some dudes that look like they're 30 something, and the mom is watching, and she
Totally
flips her
proud.
off, like defends herself by flipping, or does the up yours thing, and the mom's like, "That's my girl," but shouldn't the mom be like,
Yeah.
"What the
Those
fuck?"
bastards.
Yeah, you're fired. Get the hell out of here.
And then like one of the guys is reaching in and drinking her coffee.
Yeah.
Like she knows him because
Calls him by name.
Yes. Get out of here, Bluto, or
Yeah,
something.
Blue, yeah. Oh, thanks, Pluto.
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's the 70s for you, man.
Yeah.
Dude.
Drinking my coffee, I fucking my daughter. Get the fuck out of here.
It's a different time.
A quick little fun fact, though, but the that Indian guy who was the one that actually mouthed off to the daughter. He's well, first off, he's one of the bad guys from 48 Hours, and also he's in Predator. He's the one that cuts his chest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know that. I recognized him immediately, and I was like, "Oh, damn, it's him! That's awesome!" But yeah, but I thought it was funny because there was a little bit of foreshadowing with the digging up the bird's grave.
Right.
With the because they were digging the pool out there. That's what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're digging this pool, and later on, when Diane is running looking for help, and they're inside the pool, and all of a sudden, all these bodies come up.
Which are real skeletons,
Yes,
by the way, people.
They're actually real skeletons. That's
It
disgusting.
was cheaper to get those rather than plastic
Yep.
ones.
Having made by plastic ones
They looked real too, so
because they were real.
As they were.
it's an extra effect for the people that pay attention.
Well, I guess Diane or her. I don't remember her name offhand.
Jo Beth Williams.
Yes,
I would change the excuse if it was me. I'd be like, we paid the extra expense to use real skeletons for the movie.
Hell yeah.
Like, no, we chumped out. We didn't want to pay the extra $10, so we got the bag of real
Would that be
skeletons.
terrible to think that it was like a minuscule amount?
How much? How much a real skeleton? Where do you get real skeleton? Do you dig it?
I know,
them
but
up?
like I think it's funny that it's like, oh no, they're cheaper, but it's like, who are these people that are
How
floating
is it
around in the
cheaper?
pool?
Well,
are they just John Does? Do
they
these people
have to
have
be.
names?
They have
It's
to
weird.
be.
It's weird the things you think about as an adult now, because before
That's why we rehash
I
these
thought the
movies,
same-
people, because it's like when we were kids, we
I thought
were
the
just
same
scared of
thing.
the skeletons. We weren't concerned
it was
about who the fuck they were.
I was like, what are the skeletons? Now it's like, who are these people that are dead in the pool?
Well, yeah, and like, how do these families just go? Oh yeah, you can use the skeletons. No big
It's gotta
deal.
be-
Like
They just dug them up, and that's
Well,
it was
they
the
would
70s.
have to be.
It
They
was
would
a
have to
different
be
time.
Unknown people that are just dead in a morgue. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, why would that?
They changed the rules, and they changed the rules in '84 or '83 apparently, and where you couldn't use.
Well, it's just
dug up
funny
bodies.
because Diane, like you said, Jo Beth, she had no idea that the skeletons were real until after that shot.
Right, I heard
Yeah,
that.
and then she's like, but then,
Also, shout out to Jo Beth. She's a fantastic actress. She's been in a bunch of stuff, but she was really good in Poltergeist. All the acting was pretty
she was
fantastic.
the lead actress, lead
Oh yeah,
in
for
this
sure,
movie.
without a doubt. And she
yeah.
she killed it. I wanted to make sure I pointed that out in the podcast.
Especially after having been a parent now. That's another thing about revisiting this movie is having been a parent and knowing the concern of a kid that
It's a chair.
that was the worst.
whatever.
chair
I thought
sound.
you were just over there farting, Chris. Jeez.
pillow's falling off.
Just throw it.
No,
But,
it's comfortable.
Yeah, it's better than the
I need
alternative.
the
It
pillow,
definitely
but
is better than the alternative.
I get
give you
excited and
that.
I lean forward and I just slip off. All right, back.
All
to
right,
the
sorry,
show.
Wyatt. Go
no,
ahead.
that's cool. No, but I mean, after having been a parent and revisiting this movie, it's totally different because I didn't have the kind of connection to having a kid. So now I have a kid, and I'm like, well, this movie's even more intense because if my kid got sucked through a wormhole, I too would be flipping out like these two.
Oh yeah,
and I don't
can't.
think
I couldn't imagine that. I don't have a child, so
yeah.
it changes this movie for you. Once
There
you have
you
a
go.
kid and you watch this movie, you're like, whoa, this movie's like, ooh, on another level.
But that's the thing about having a kid. Like once you have a kid, everything is changed. You look at so many things differently, and it's just crazy.
Especially with our next episode, which is Goonies.
Hell yeah. Okay.
And the crazy part, this movie went really deep in religion too. Not super deep in religion per se, but I mean, it was the devil.
Yeah,
it was,
he was
a
the
demon
beast,
or
so-
something.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, she said the beast, and usually if the beast means the devil, right? Isn't that?
Well, coming from a
if the
non-religious
devil's
person, I
face
couldn't
is
tell
as
you.
big as a closet door, then yeah.
Well,
No, but
Yeah.
don't you like when you see that, especially as a parent, for sure, and I'm sure you could even relate to this, but when you hear in that scene, like after she rips Robbie out of the fucking
Robbie, by
tree.
the way, sweetest Star Wars paraphernalia for a fucking
know.
80s
Fuck
kid.
yeah! Actually, I was gonna bring that up. Thank you.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
fuck yeah. No, it was beautiful.
His room was just, I mean, you could tell Spielberg was just like, bam,
Yeah,
bam,
yeah.
we're gonna put this. Oh, did you see the C-3PO fucking light switch? Yeah, we're gonna put that shit right there, and then we're gonna do a big dramatic scene with that shit right there.
but
in
it
the
looked
background.
very authentic. I mean, it was a kid's room.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
for
Spielberg was fucking, drinking
was-
Chardonnay with George Lucas after he was filming this shit.
yeah, like in Hawaii or something. It's
Yeah.
like-
It was very.
Where they were going dicking around
E.T..
with the Jaws shark.
oh man, but no, I mean, I even had that Darth Vader case, for all the stormtroopers, for all the characters and everything. So yeah, that hit home right away. But like when you watch the film and she just ripped Robbie out of the tree, and she runs in, and they realize that they can't find Carol Ann, and Robbie's cleaned up finally, and he's sitting in it, and they're looking for Carol Ann because they don't know where the hell she is, and all of a sudden you finally hear the voice,
Yeah.
and then she finally goes, "What?" And she looks at the TV, and you finally realize that it's coming from the television, and you're just like, your heart just goes, "What the fuck?" Because you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And we have no idea because she's clearly it's this fucked up, and it's crazy.
Well, yeah, and then like that whole, because that's when they realize that shit's kind of, they need to, and I like their rather than going to like general authorities, they go to people who are like open minded.
Oh yeah,
And it's cool that they're open minded about this whole thing because they could have gotten with this story, like, I mean, I guess not really, but like it's not like you were saying, Chris, religious. I just think it's like more like faith. Like
Yeah.
do you have a general conception of whether or not there's another side, whether it be interdimensional or
Right.
because what's her name, the Tangina, her
Yes.
faith is obvious, but could
She was
be,
awesome too, by the way. This movie had because she was my favorite part of this movie.
yeah.
I mean, her childlike voice and her just the way she was awesome.
for some reason she still reminds me of the maid character in Family Guy. Tangina, I'm home. What the hell? What the hell is going on around here?
This house is clean.
No, it's not. Are you serious? There's shit everywhere. I mean, look, there's a garden hose in the ceiling fan. How does that happen? And there's bottles. Did you have a party? This is ridiculous. What the hell?
This house is clean.
Stop saying that. Are you crazy? Is there not like a screening process at the Housekeepers Guild for to make sure you know how to do a little wipey? I mean, come on. This is bullshit. There's just shit everywhere. I mean, is this a condom? Did you? First off, I can't even imagine. Never mind. Just go.
This house is clean.
I'm going to slap you. You need to stop saying shit like that. Because this is disgusting. This is my fault. I shouldn't have hired Gelfling lady from Dark Crystal. This is I blame myself. Just you got to leave. I'm done with you. Go out of my house right now.
This house is clean.
Okay. Yeah. Bye. Night. Thank you. Bye. Yeah.
I think Tangina and Ruben from the Burbs could make a great couple.
Oh, totally.
We should set them up if they're still alive.
That would be great. But no, when the Institute people show up, and you're right, and I didn't write those names down either, so I'm sorry, Institute people.
That feels
And
terrible.
they go up to the room, and the room is
Yes,
just going
exactly.
ape
The
shit.
reaction, because they're talking to him in the office. They're like, well, okay, we'll come check it out. And like, they as soon as he walks in, it's like, well, why is that door shut? Because that's where it all fucking happened. And they open up, and it's just chaos. And their look is just like they just got hit by a car.
Yeah,
And
and
you're just like, what?
well, and some great practical effects going on there. Not in the whole movie, not but that room where how it's just everything is spinning around.
Yeah, the
and-
kitchen scene was awesome. I mean, where the chairs go back and forth.
Yeah, they they did a whole entire slit all the way down, like in the groove or the grout.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably linoleum, but they did a
Oh, and just move the chairs that way. That
And
makes
yeah,
sense.
there's an actor, or there was a guy underneath just pulling her all the way across and then pulling the chair all the way across.
Oh,
was
yeah,
crazy.
Okay.
And
so
the chair.
you ruined it for me, but
I'm sorry.
Okay.
The chair stacking scene actually was
Yeah.
was done by set people. Like
Yes.
Did they screw them together or something?
No,
No,
it was
they-
done in one
they-
one cut.
Yeah, because when you watch the scene, it pans. Like all the chairs are slid out,
Yeah,
and
it
then
goes
she,
right to
and
side.
then she slides them back in, and then it pans over to the kitchen counter, and you kind of just see some stuff, like going on, and then it pans back, and they're all stacked up, and that pyramid. Sorry, I was just holding in a burp. That pyramid was made by people on the set. Yeah, like
Yeah.
they did it in one take.
One take. They
That's-
jump right out there.
that's
and just
awesome.
tackle all that shit in one freaking time. That
See,
was-
these things are what changes your mind about movies a little bit
Yeah.
because it's cool. It's cool things.
So anyway, one of the biggest things after they do show up at the house to me was when they call to her and they get a reaction, and all of a sudden you hear shit going down, and then you can hear her, Carol Ann, running across
Yeah.
the ceiling like she's in the house, and they're just frantic. They're running
Yeah,
all over the place trying
That's a
to find her.
goosebump scene, man.
Oh man, it just kills you, just listening to that. And
And that's
Yeah,
like
her voice noise was pretty good too for the backwards vocal or the I always
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
that creepy sound.
oh no, for sure.
And that's, because that whole scene is great. And then, like, they see all the people walking down the stairs, and, there's just all kinds of paranormal activity going on. And then it goes, everybody goes to bed. It's all sweet and good. And then one of the guys is just eating potato chips like he just smoked a joint or something. He's just like bottom of the bag. I'm gonna go find more food.
Yeah, he totally smoked a joint.
and this leads into probably my favorite
totally.
sequence of the movie, and that's like with this guy, going into the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like you're with him, like it's just like you hear this creepy like noise, like what is that wet noise over there? And he gets closer, and there's that steak inching its way across the counter, which is a practical effect too.
Yeah, the same exact thing that they did with the chairs on the floor. They
Just,
cut something
cutting
like
the
that.
grout, yeah, and
they had
had a
wires,
puppeteer.
and they made it look like it was slewing
Yeah.
and shit.
Did not know.
And dude, and then the maggots come out. It's like,
Oh yeah.
you're just like, no.
So that scene went from being super 80s to being like, ooh, gross. This is
Yeah, to
kinda cool.
to horror stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then he runs into the bathroom. He's like, oh, I gotta wash my face or whatever. And then like he does that, and then it's like
Under the
what?
red light.
Yeah, and then it totally turns red, so you know that shit's going down.
Yeah.
And then he just starts ripping his face out, and that's the cool part because the hands that are doing that, it's actually Steven Spielberg's.
Right.
So I mean, that was kind of a cool thing to learn. So it's like, and I guess there's like a little bit of a hoopla about because the director of this movie and Steven Spielberg, because he's the executive producer of the film. Steven Spielberg was, but at the same time he was filming E.T. like literally blocks away.
Right.
And I guess at the point in time that production was being held up, so he spent a lot of time on the set and basically wrote all the storyboards, pretty much directed the actors, and basically directed this film also. And like they
so
weren't.
why? So how come Toby Hooper gets credit for?
Well, because he
'Cause
did
was the
direct.
and he did do Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah,
So he's
a very
pretty good
well-known
director.
horror
He had done
horror
something
director. But it just so happened because the only reason why it was just because he was being held up on ET.
That makes sense.
And
Spielberg is the producer. He was very much. He was the man on the set.
And this is not uncommon for Spielberg. He's very interactive on his sets.
Yeah.
He if he's an executive producer and who he is, he's
Yeah, I mean,
he's gonna
there's
get
nothing wrong with
involved.
that. But if so, I mean, everything he's done has been pretty good so far. So
Well,
it
no,
hasn't-
he's got a great
I have no
track
problem
record.
with his touch on things, I guess.
But yeah. Oh, I did write one of the guys' names down actually. The scene with him pulling his face off. His name was Marty.
Oh,
okay.
really? That's Marty.
Yeah, that was Marty. Yeah,
Oh.
and that's
So
Shout
Marty's
out.
night's over after that. He goes home.
yeah.
And she
Who
says,
stays? Brian? Is that what his name is?
Was that?
Who's the other guy?
"Thank God he stayed."
Oh, I didn't.
The guy with the
We can call
balls.
him. I can call him Brian Malcolm.
I don't know. We'll just call him the other guy.
We'll call him Lando Calrissian.
He does. He could play a good Lando.
I, as soon as I saw him, I was like, man, he could totally do Lando. But no, I mean that's the.
That's a good compliment.
Yeah.
Lando's pretty. He's pretty swanky.
Oh, and by
I
the way,
that.
like not to be sold, Marty got bit by a ghost
That's where I was going right now.
before he had
Yeah.
his run-in with the steak in his
Yeah.
face.
Yeah, he comes running down the stairs. That staircase, that fucked
I'd
up
be gone.
staircase.
Nope, I'd be gone.
And yeah, he lifts up his shirt and he's got a bite mark.
She says he
and
never
that's
comes
crazy.
back. Dr. Ruth, no, that's not her name. Dr. Lesh.
Dr. Ruth.
Dr. Lesh never.
Dr. Ruth.
She's like, he's never coming. Marty's gone. He's never coming back.
Yeah, he gone.
Brian, grab that camera. You're gonna see some shit tonight. Brian was ready though. I'm gonna call him Brian. I don't
I'm going to call him Brian.
He's got to have a name.
Sure, let's call him Brian. I'm good with that.
He was ready. He was pulling that rope. That rope had a bunch of red guts or glop on it. They never explained the goofy red stuff.
I always thought it
tentacle.
was like in Ghostbusters. It's just like ectoplasm.
And probably,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Definitely. What do you think about, like if you were to buy a house kind of like this and later on you found that it was built on top of a old cemetery or something like that? I mean, are you guys like, not so much ghosties? I mean, are you infatuated with that kind of, do you like,
Not
Okay,
infatuated,
not
but
infatuated,
I'm
but maybe
open-minded to
interested,
the
I mean.
likelihood of spirits for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Are we living on top of bodies?
Yeah, well,
or did they move the
obviously
bodies?
they're not telling
Because
you
You
that,
moved the
but
headstones.
They were supposed to move the bodies. But
they were
didn't.
supposed to, but obviously their cost effectiveness was not there, so they
Yeah.
didn't.
I think I could live on a graveyard that bodies used to be buried in, but I don't think I could live on an active graveyard.
Right.
I mean, it's just not cool.
I don't
no.
even know that I could live on a graveyard that had been,
Really?
because I feel like it's like you decompose into the soil. It's not
Kinda
That's
just
like
your
probably true.
bones.
That's probably true.
So, yeah, you're thinking the life like
Confronted
Yeah,
with the problem,
yeah,
it might be a
spirits
different
stay-
answer.
spirits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean, because that's what I wanted to know, because I'm very much so like, very I'm not spiritual at all, but I believe in that shit, like the other dimensional
Yeah.
planes, the other stuff like that.
My
And
house is haunted.
it's
for
really
sure.
interesting to know this. I mean, there was another really cool did you know fact, and like there's in this Hollywood like take on this movie and this franchise is that there is said to like Poltergeist has like a actual curse on this franchise, and a lot of it seems like because they believe is that they used real skeletons in this movie.
Yeah.
Because from the span of the whole franchise, in saying that, I mean, because I'm not sure if you know this, but there were so many deaths from these actors.
Yeah.
Since 1982 to 88, 4 of the actors from this franchise, 1, 2, and 3, have died. Carol Ann died.
That seems to happen in. Well, yeah.
Yeah, she died in 88 filming Poltergeist 3.
Heather
her-
O'Rourke, by the way.
Yes, yeah. She died of some sort of intestinal blockage and stuff like that, and she went into septic shock, basically, and died on the operating table.
Dominic Dunn, the daughter, was strangled by her boyfriend.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, and there was 2 others, and I believe one was in Poltergeist, 2 in Poltergeist 2, I believe.
That happens in movies, though. I mean, I remember that
Yeah.
happening with The Exorcist, if I remember right, and a couple of those scary movies have that crazy curse to it.
That's
pretty bad.
It's a weird thing to think about in this movie, though. That kind of weird, the fact that they in the movie, it's like you didn't remove the bodies,
Yeah.
but then they're using real bodies there. It's kind of this weird contradiction in itself.
Totally.
And maybe they did end up cursing themselves by desecrating.
Like where do you get these fucking bodies?
Yeah,
It's
we'll
like,
never
did you dig
answer
them up
that.
to bring these? Was
We'll
that
never answer
cheaper?
that
You know?
question.
Maybe it's not such a good idea to put bodies back in coffins and play with them like they're toys.
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense.
A couple scenes during that skeleton part, I thought maybe the skeletons were alive, but then no, like they were moving in kind of in a scary way.
You mean
But did
like in the swimming pool or something like that, or
Yeah, they came out of the
In kind of an Indiana Jones way, where they just kind of like come up and just.
They guys
Yeah,
just flop out. Well, I don't think they made noises.
No, they do. They go.
The Wyatt go-to.
they kind of did.
I mean, one of them they fell out of the grave and they kind of moved over and arms fell different. I mean, they were falling on top of people pretty precisely. I didn't know
Actually, if I remember correctly, at the very, very, very end of the film, when shit's just going down and like literally the coffins and shit are blasting out of the earth, I do believe they kind of popped open and went. I mean, like it's like I kind of believe, I kind of remember that. To be honest,
I just didn't know if they were.
You just don't really think about it because you're terrified.
At that time,
True.
you're watching this film, you're like, "Holy fuck! This shit's going on."
There was so much, and they were slowly revealing the grave sites not being moved.
Yeah.
Throughout the movie, so that was kind of. I mean, there was a lot of different plot points to Poltergeist, which is kind of weird. but-
And there's that reveal during when when Coach is getting the job offer, the promotion offer.
Yeah, you went right where I was going. Yes,
and he's taking a nice stroll on that hill that it just looks like it's somewhere in the LA hills, like nice, and they live in the valley, and then all the while it's like there's a graveyard right there.
You don't know it until then, yeah.
So obviously, Steve knows that there was bodies supposedly dug up. Like he's under the impression that the bodies were under his house, that they were dug up. So maybe that's why he's so open-minded, because he's like, okay, so maybe because that had to have crossed his mind. If he knew from the start that they were supposed to remove bodies, but they were still going to build houses there.
Well, yeah, the whole time he's talking to his boss that's offering him the job.
Yeah.
Well,
he even talks about, so we're gonna remove we're gonna move the cemetery. Well, I guess if you move the headstones and the bodies, that'll be okay. And he turns to the boss, and the boss says, well, we've done it before.
Moved the cemetery, but you left the bodies, didn't you? You left the bodies and you only moved the headstones! You only moved the headstones!
He's talking about that exact development. So I think they moved that cemetery up. This is the very same cemetery that was down there in that development. I believe they moved that to where they're talking right there.
Yeah.
That's just what I think. I'm not sure if that's
makes
accurate.
Because I was like, that cemetery is on a high hill.
Yeah, exactly. I think they just moved the headstones up 500-600 yards and built this, or a mile or two or
that
whatever.
Makes a little more sense, because it is obviously digitized and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why their house was the only haunted house. I mean, is there only graves below Coach's house or what?
I think it had to do with the girl, and that's why Poltergeist 2 and shit like that.
I've never seen Poltergeist.
Well, they said
she was born in the house.
She was she was born in the house, and they said that the spirits were drawn to her free spirit and her life force. So for some reason, she was such a pure soul or whatever, and they were drawn to her. So that's why they were basically there, pretty much. Is for some reason they just wanted her life force. They felt more in tune with I don't know, something like that. But that's what it was.
Well, yeah, I mean the amateur paranormal investigators get outmatched.
Chris's farting some more.
So
next week.
So they bring in the Tangelina and Tangina, whatever, man.
I like Tangelina. No,
Tangelina's good. Yeah, whatever.
Don't call her Tangina.
Tangina.
No one likes that.
But they bring her in and kind of have to accept that like what she's saying is the truth. Diane goes in, and Coach kind of realizes, that they're trying to sacrifice, the kid to get rid of the beast or whatever.
It kind of
turns it on its head, and like suddenly it's like, okay, so I don't know, the religious aspect of it, just kind of seemed weird.
It is, especially when Tangina does show up, she is, saying like all this stuff. And what was really interesting is I don't know how she came to it, and they don't explain this one part about the movie that actually kind of bugs me. Is like, how do they know that that is the portal, and then for some reason there's going to be I don't know, what is it, the shitter portal? That just like you throw a tennis ball through one side, and then all of a sudden there's the shitter portal that drops the tennis ball back through.
I think they think that because of that stuff that fell out of it, the washes.
Okay. I couldn't remember why all of a sudden it's like, that's the portal to the gateway, but what is that other one? That was
they called it like the
confusing part to me, and I couldn't quite grasp that.
I don't think it was the shitter portal.
I will know. I mean,
it wasn't the anus.
No, it's not.
But
I just didn't quite understand.
It did have
part.
they did have a term for it. Like they called it like the exit hole or something like that, or something like that, because when all those watches and shit fell out, and they were kind of like looking at the dates of them, they kind of determined that that stuff comes out of there.
Right.
So maybe it is the ass.
Shitter is the asshole portal.
So where do those things come from? Because
I think
you throw a tennis ball in and a tennis ball comes out, it seems like you need to throw those things in there for those to come out.
Well, okay, so that's what's kind of confusing, because it's like there must be many assholes, because
there are a lot of assholes, man.
Because a bunch of shit went into their closet other than Carolyn, So I mean, there was other.
Yeah, none of that came out.
Yeah, there was no, Hulk
That's
riding
true.
Hulk riding a horse.
Their liver would have been completely fucked up.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just by chance that they managed to find the right asshole,
Yeah, and that was the one confusing part about it. That I mean, I was cool with it. I mean, it was an awesome scene, so I was down with it. But that was the one thing I was like, well, why there? And so anyway, that's his 2017's
you just can't ask
outlook on something from 1982. So
can't ask questions.
I got 2 syllables for you. Spielberg.
Yeah,
Totally.
you can't ask questions, because if you ask questions, then you start asking questions about that scene where it cuts from like mid sentence to mid sentence. I don't know if it cuts right into
the
where he's
pizza
talking
scene.
about the pizza. Yeah, he's talking about pizza.
Yeah.
Apparently they did that because he talks about how much he dislikes Pizza Hut. And
they didn't go.
And
They were
Pizza
down
Hut
with
didn't
that.
like that very much, so they cut out. So it's just cut, and you're just like, you just got to go with it, because it's the late 70s, early 80s movie.
But that's great though, because at the same time, if I remember correctly in the movie, weren't they like totally high as shit too? Like the whole time, like after that moment.
I don't know.
Like,
I didn't know if it was marijuana was a part of that movie. I know they smoked. I know like half the time he had a cigarette in his ear. I don't think he'd be having a doobie in his ear walking around with the kids around. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Back then, a lot of people smoked cigarettes casually.
Well,
you
cigarettes totally, but
Yeah.
but not marijuana cigarettes.
No, but are you saying like he had a rolled cigarette all
I'm
the
pretty
time?
sure he had one in his ear every once in a while.
I don't know. I feel like the only rolled cigarette I saw in that movie was when Diane was rolling a fucking joint on the bed.
Yeah, for
when
sure.
Steve
I'm gonna
was,
post a picture online of him with his cigarette in his ear. Prove you wrong.
And then Steve's just like
Photoshopped.
he's trying to high dive into her, like he's like trying to get some. He's like, watch me do my dad bod diving skill shit right here.
Right, totally.
And then the kid comes in and cockblocks everything.
Yeah, and right
Yeah,
then,
how's that
exactly.
feel? You guys know
but
how that feels
when
too,
he
I'm
does
sure.
come in though, she totally like throws something in the box and closes it super quick. So
Well, she takes a hit first though.
Well, yeah.
like any stoner
and then she
would.
throws well, yeah, you're supposed to.
You just say
like
it's Irish
law.
tobacco, laddie. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but wouldn't the kids be like, "Mom, that smells really bad in here"? Like,
They're
don't kids
oblivious,
have-
dude. They're oblivious.
Kids
Just be
aren't
like, why does it
oblivious.
smell like campfire?
they're oblivious.
Mom, it smells like skunk in here. There's, you'd ask questions.
Back then, it didn't smell like skunk. I'm pretty sure.
What?
What?
They don't have,
The quality of the weed back then was not very good, Chris.
No, it was
I
a
don't
lot.
even know. I'm just gonna. I don't even know. It is what it is.
Some of us know, Chris, that the quality
Oh,
of
no.
weed back in the day
Oh,
was
no,
not
I'm
very good.
He's back. It's been a while.
I was actually wondering when he was going to come back.
I miss Alan Alda.
I do too.
That's good stuff.
But the end. It's like I'll have to ask this because I thought it was not necessarily totally weird because I guess I understand it, but at the same time like I would send one of the parents with him, I suppose. But the whole part where like shit's going totally down, or maybe I had to have somebody pick him up, but they just put their son in a cab and go, "Call me,"
Yeah.
and he just drives away.
Where did he go? Do we know where?
No,
where he
you
went?
don't. You assume grandparents probably,
Oh, okay.
but I mean,
I didn't know
no,
if
that
they
was
said that
like the
or not.
one scene.
They put him and the dog
Yeah,
into a cab with a supposedly probably trustworthy cabbie.
you would think so. You know, and for 1982,
Like,
I'm
hey,
sure he
Mr.
was
Cabbie.
totally trustworthy.
We don't have time to drive our son to grandma's, so
No,
please.
take my son.
Yeah,
Just take him.
We're gonna give him $1,000 cash. Can you please just honestly take the money that
There's some things about. I mean, if you went through all this, she just went through this tunnel inside of her house, and then she's gonna take a bath and be cool, putting the kids back to bed in the same. There's no way that I could stay there after. Like I would be in the car probably a couple miles away sleeping with the kids.
I mean, I think the totem pole of like of the kids in the family is kind of well established. Like Dana, they don't really care what Dana does. They don't care if she's getting catcalled by men twice her age. They don't care if she's out on a date while they're trying to get their daughter out of a fucking alien or paranormal asshole. But like they do love Carolyn enough to sacrifice her life. But Robbie, like, hey Robbie, go to grandma's house for tonight. It's just kind of weird. Like they were all so close knit, and then they're like, okay, everybody go do your own thing while we try.
Yeah, who knows where the daughter was? I'm gonna go to Stacy's house tonight. Okay, have fun at Stacy's.
Yeah, she looked like she was probably making out or something like that.
She was 14, dude. You're gross.
No, dude, she was 16.
I'm gonna take this podcast back to Changina because once she entered the movie, it got into a really creepy
You're really all about that Tangina.
I really
aren't
like
you?
her. It was good. She has a creepy, more of a kid's voice, which brought this really creepy sense when she's talking in the background, and she's against the wall, and she's like, "That's not time yet, coach."
Yeah.
She's like, "Don't pull the rope, coach." And he pulls it anyways, and then she slides out, and then they don't breathe for like 4 minutes, but
Yeah, in the bathtub. Oh god. Yeah.
I still want to know what that red goose stuff is.
Ectoplasm, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
ectoplasm. All you got to do is watch Ghostbusters, and then you get the whole ectoplasm thing.
I'm sure they explain it in Poltergeist too, because apparently you need to watch the sequels to all these freaking movies.
yeah, you kind of do actually.
But where was Coach and Joe Beth in number two as well?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
he was. No, Joe Beth.
Just
I'm pretty sure
returned.
isn't the entire.
Well, I know Coach
cast?
was because that was the tequila
except for
scene.
Dana,
tequila worm
because
scene.
Dana died.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, so I think pretty much Dana just stayed at Grandma's house. I don't know.
Yeah, she was on a long date.
No,
Yeah, who
shit.
knows? She
Yeah,
was
I haven't
promiscuous
seen
teen.
the second one in forever.
They
so
were
I-
they were
neither
great,
have I. I mean,
they were great
maybe
lovers.
she
They were
isn't.
not very good parents. I'll
They-
throw it out there.
They
love
love
their
their
kids.
baby,
They love their kids.
and their son they like too.
I don't know.
But Dana, it's clear that their firstborn must have been an accident and maybe just like a bitch from the start, because they're just kind of like, do your own thing, quit screaming.
Well, I
she
mean-
screams a lot. It's like, hey, Dana, take a fucking chill pill.
Yeah.
We're trying to get her daughter back.
respect the dog.
Hey, you, shut up. We're trying to get our daughter back, okay? That's what I felt like they were like.
Respect to the Dominique as an actress. She was a great actress in the movie. I don't think they needed her as I think the son and the daughter would have been fine.
Yeah, her part was pretty much not necessary. She was just kind of like
she
one
was
of those.
added for screams, and
But that's
Yeah.
the weird part about because probably
she came
Screams
home at a
the-
weird time.
Probably
I don't
added
know.
for Screams mostly because let's think about it. I mean, if her character is supposed to be 16 years old, she's not really there for sex appeal. But even though she might kind of been meant to in a sense, back then I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
But-
I think Diane carried the load.
Well, yeah, especially with the kind of the sexual ghost. Actually, it's a great scene. The sexual ghost thing when she's on the bed after she's drying her hair.
Was
and
it
everything.
sexual?
Kinda. I mean, she got flopped on the bed, and then the shirt was starting to get lifted up and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, she starts getting flopped around on the ceiling.
That was a cool
Good
scene. That was a
practical
cool
effect,
scene.
yeah.
Yeah,
I like that.
actually, that was a rotating box.
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Was
so
it?
they just rotated it around, and she just kind of flopped around on the sink.
She did a good job
on the
on
ceiling.
that.
Yeah, so I mean, it was pretty cool. But the other scene that really gets me good is the clown scene.
Oh,
Really have to bring that one
At
up.
the end.
goodness.
Well, it is
Well, at the-
kind
at
of.
the
Well,
first
yeah, it
end.
was kind of at the end. The first,
second,
the
yeah.
first end. Yeah,
well, it's kind of like when you think everything's okay.
yeah.
When you're kind of
Well,
like, hey,
this
Carolyn's
movie-
back, and
This movie has two. This one of the strange movies that has two ends. Not
Yeah.
every. I mean, it literally has. You can watch it. I thought it was over.
Well-
the ghost is gone. The Tangina said,
You kinda
"This
wanna
house-
call her up."
This house is clean.
This house
Yeah.
is
And
not
so you're
fucking
like,
clean.
No, the house isn't clean at all. We're like, you are not good. I mean, she's good, but she's not that good.
yeah. All they did was they got Carolyn back. They didn't clean the house.
There was the scene though with the clown.
Yeah,
was
the-
kind of pretty interesting because like the whole scene when that was happening, because especially when we're talking about all the deaths that's happened in this, the scene when Robbie was under the bed and getting basically strangled.
Yeah.
He was actually getting strangled, like legitimately. Like,
Oh, yeah.
there was a part where he said as it was going on, he was like, "I can't breathe." But the whole time the directors were saying, "Just say that to the camera. That's great. That's great
Yeah.
shit." And then all of a sudden,
You're doing awesome.
Yeah, you're doing great, dude. And and all of a sudden he started turning purple, and then Spielberg jumps out of his chair and rips off everything.
that-
Yeah,
That's
so it's
a
like,
crazy deal.
Maybe that's
Wow.
why Spielberg had to be there all the time, was because he's like, somebody's gonna get killed if I don't like intermediate.
So
you know?
Toby's over there just like, go for it.
Yeah, well,
Go.
I guess Tobes had a little bit of a substance abuse problem. I'm not sure if that's 100% true, of course, but yeah,
He did the first.
apparently,
He did the first chainsaw.
apparently,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Apparently,
makes sense then.
Tangina did not like him at all as far as a director.
I didn't look and see if she. I didn't know if Zelda Rubinstein had been in much else, but I don't think. I literally think she was
Maybe
the
the
perfect
Wizard of
character
Oz, and
casted for.
that's
All right. That's short shaming. We don't do that. In this
Yeah,
show.
that was yeah, well,
I'm not
No
sure
short
shaming.
shaming
I'm
on the
short
show.
praising.
Okay, you can do that.
Yeah.
I won't be
Well,
that, please.
She was
No.
she was a big star.
So I
She's perfect for this
I
movie.
have to say this one scene because I actually want to watch and make sure this is actually accurate because apparently I just read this last night that it says when the bird dies, and she's going to attempt to flush it.
Yeah.
Apparently, it casts a shadow of a shark.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on the wall.
Dun.
A little, yeah, throw to Steven Spielberg for Jaws. But I need to watch that again to make sure that's actually true, because I read that and I'm like, I don't remember that, but that would be pretty sweet.
So
to
I
see
heard
that.
I heard rumors back in the day that, I mean, I know that the rating system was different, but
Mm-hmm.
I heard that it started as rated R.
Yeah.
And they were able to bring it down, but back then PG-13 didn't exist, so
Yeah.
they brought it down to PG.
Yeah. So
And
was it
I
the
forgot
first
to look at-
PG or PG-13?
No, they brought it to PG. It was
PG-13 did not come on until July 1st of 84.
So how was so it was PG-13.
It was either
without
rated R or
yeah,
PG.
rated R PG. So it's
Yeah.
parental guidance.
PG-13 did not
And
come
then,
on
but when
until
okay, so I was
84 or 85.
in watching it. I was thinking, if this isn't. I mean, there's some pretty gnarly scenes, but there's not a whole lot of death. I mean, nobody died.
No, it's
Not
just
one person died. There was
The- well,
there
the
wasn't a lot
bird.
of blood.
The bird is the only thing that
The
died.
bird died.
Yeah.
Tweety
I mean, there were
dies, and then
skeletons.
Tweety 1 and Tweety 2 and Tweety 3 seem pretty doomed to me.
Yeah, birds are just.
It's kinda
anytime
like,
someone shows
whoa,
up,
okay,
shows up
they're
with a
just-
bird, that's never good.
They're just enabling her. Here's some more things to let.
If a director's if Toby's gonna take time to put Bird in a movie, he's gonna kill Bird. So
Toby's like, this is boring. Somebody give her a hammer.
overall, it was. I enjoyed it. I mean, the first, like I said, the first 30 minutes were I chugged through. Once it kicked into gear, it was a great movie. It felt 80s. It felt 80s to me. I think it. Sometimes I judge movies on movies that would make it today. RoboCop and a lot of the movies they're doing remakes of, which is kind of why we're doing this podcast. A lot of these movies are movies that could still stand up. And Poltergeist, they made a remake. I haven't seen it. I saw it.
I watched it the other night. It's not up to snuff, but
No, it's not like where they tell a different story or anything.
It's something that you could you can get through it.
There's something about practical effects and things that just
That's what I was
going
to say. It's like this movie holds up to me because of all the practical effects and the fact that I felt like Coach and Joe Beth Williams were really convincing as like these
I agree.
parents.
I agree.
They sell it. So I think this movie holds up. Like I watched it and I was like thoroughly delighted the whole
I
time.
completely. Even the special effects with the monster blasting his face out, and then that one demon guarding the door.
Yeah.
There's some good effects in the film, and practical I think is totally better than CG still to this day.
I think how they did the lights in the closet, just how they did that alone.
The strobe lights.
Yeah, the strobe lights.
The fish tank.
With a fish tank, exactly.
Yeah, like
So
I said, I
cool.
was like, I wonder if this is one of those movies that people with epilepsy can't watch because there's a lot of strobing going on.
I didn't think about that.
I think you're probably completely right. I wouldn't even get close to that if I had epilepsy.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Well,
all right. So do we have anything else?
the only other thing I was gonna say back when we were talking about E.T. was,
Yeah.
I guess Drew Barrymore auditioned for the part of the.
Oh,
of the
yeah.
little girl.
Right.
No,
She didn't get the part, so
he offered her
but
to the
Spielberg
E.T.?
liked her a
Yeah.
lot, and gave her E.T. and she took off from there. So that was pretty.
Oh
cool.
hell yeah! No, that's great. That's actually I had that written down as well, so that's pretty sweet.
Other than that, yeah, I was just gonna make sure we shouted out the crazy deaths and.
Well, if that's the case, I think I want to try a new game.
The game.
Yeah,
right.
let's try the new game.
It's been a while.
We're gonna call it bad impressions. We might change it later on, but basically the game is going to be nobody knows, we don't know these quotes, but we're gonna try to act out some quotes here.
Yeah, we all came up with our own.
Yeah, we all came up with stuff, and we're gonna try to act out the scene ourselves, and then we have to guess what movie and character it's gonna be, and see if we can figure it out. I'm sure some of them would be easy, maybe some would be hard. I don't know. So we'll have to.
Do you want me to go first?
Go for it, man.
All right, here we go. Who said this in what movie? Ready? That's one big pile of shit.
That's
Jurassic Park.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
Jeff Goldblum.
No, it's not Jeff Goldblum.
Ian.
Oh, you know what? Maybe. Oh yeah, I know it's Jeff Goldblum.
That is Jeff Goldblum.
Ian
yes.
Malcolm. You got it. I'll
Yeah,
give you.
Ian
If you
Malcolm.
say Ian, you got it. That's good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That was.
that was good.
That was a warm up.
Yeah,
I like
didn't
that.
know.
I like that.
Okay.
That was a good one to start off.
Are you ready or
I'm ready.
go for it?
Oh, me? Okay.
Or no, whatever.
No, okay. So this one's mine. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
I know who that is. I mean, that's the Joker, and that's Jack Nicholson from Batman.
Excellent.
Okay, so here's mine. I'm a seamstress. That's great. I come out of crime prison and I'm Betsy Ross.
Sylvester Stallone, Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Good one. All right, I'll give you one. Here we go. They call it a Royale with cheese.
I know exactly who that is.
Okay, that
Yeah,
would
mine are
be
pretty.
obviously the Forrest Gump.
No,
No, that's
No.
Samuel
Oh, no,
Jackson.
I'm
as,
Samuel L. Jackson
as
in, Pulp
Julius.
Fiction. Yeah.
Pulp Fiction, yeah.
Yeah, my fault. Yeah. Because they said Royale is something in Forrest Gump, so that's why I messed that up.
well, that's the first one we've gotten wrong. Make sure
Okay,
you
well,
fail.
I'm gonna do a hard one. See if you guys can get this. Okay, this is an older film. This is like right up our alley. Okay, ready? Let's see if I can do this. This is gonna be a hard one. I want rustlers, cutthroats, murderers, bounty hunters, desperados, mugs, pugs, thugs, nitwits, hatchwits, dimwits, vipers, snipers, conmen, Indian agents, Mexican bandits, smugglers, buggers, bushwhackers, hornswogglers, horse thieves, bull dykes, train robbers, bank robbers, ass kickers, shit kickers, and Methodists.
Bull Dykes. I don't know what that's from. That sounds familiar, but like, what is that?
I knew it was going to be an older one. It was going to be hard. I should actually leave that one for the listeners to see if they could identify that one.
Yeah, good luck.
And if you can, should we? Should that be a listener one?
For a shirt?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. New contest. There you go. Log into our Facebook account and comment on the Poltergeist episode to enter for a possible free shirt. So let's try that. There you go.
Cool. You can have my episode of Poltergeist too.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't have a camera.
Wow. My phone, I left it at work.
Okay. My wife just showed up, brings us cookies dressed as the Vision. So
That was the Vision, wasn't it?
That hats off to my wife. I love
Does
you.
nobody get to see that?
No,
Damn it,
nobody
I don't
got
have
to
a
see
camera
that.
on
Yeah,
today.
because our tech guy forgot his camera.
No. Yes. That was amazing. That was
and the
more
cookies
than
smell delicious.
amazing.
Okay, well, what a
Awesome.
way to go out.
Oh, I have one more. If nobody else has any more.
No, I don't.
Okay, here's the other one. I'm gonna try to do them. Okay, let's see if we can do it. Okay. Have you forgot what happened last time? If you don't stop that laughing, you'll end up dead, just like your idiot hyena cousins.
Damn, what? Oh. Is that,
Come on. Somebody get it.
that's not Princess Bride, is it?
No. Like your idiot hyena cousins.
Like your idiot hyena cousins. Damn.
Home Alone.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Judge Doom from Roger Rabbit.
No,
Oh, damn.
Yes.
Yeah, I had no idea.
All right. Well, that's
We might have to do
that's
that.
it.
Good game.
That's a new game. We'll mess with that and see what happens. All right. So if we got nothing else, we'll close out this episode.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody, and join us next time for Cinema Stash Rehash. Bye-bye.
Later.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to Cinema Stash Rehash. Be sure to give us some awesome iTunes reviews, like us on Facebook. Don't forget to check out past episodes and join us next time on Cinema Stash Rehash.